Okay, so tonight we're doing something a little different. We're going to share some stories, some pretty unsettling experiences, actually.
Right. Not made up stuff. These are real accounts.
Exactly. From food delivery drivers. Mm-hmm. You know, people bringing you food late at night.
Yeah.
And sometimes, well, things get weird, really weird.
Yeah, we've got 3 specific stories we're going to recount. They come from a DoorDash driver and also a Domino's pizza driver. It's kind of a look behind the curtain of that convenience we all use.
For sure. And our goal here is really just to, well, tell these stories. They're pretty gripping, maybe a bit frightening. Definitely makes you think.
Puts you in their shoes for a minute.
Yeah. So let's start with the first one. This involves a DoorDash driver working super late, like 2 a.m. on a holiday weekend.
Okay. Late night, holiday, already feels a bit isolated.
Right. And the order's from McDonald's, but the drop-off location, and it's a warehouse.
A warehouse at 2 a.m. That's unusual.
Yeah, very. Picture it. Huge parking lot, mostly empty, just a couple of trucks maybe. The building itself is old, rectangular, hardly any windows, just one front door. Kind of bleak.
Yeah, not exactly welcoming.
And the instructions, even weirder. Don't go to the front door.
Ooh, where then?
Go around to a side door. And this door is like heavy metal. Small window, really hard to see through.
Okay, that immediately feels off. Why a side door?
Exactly. So the driver peeks in and it's just dark inside, like pitch black, except for one dim safety light way off somewhere.
Yeah.
No front desk, nobody around, just emptiness.
Wow. Okay, so immediate red flags there.
Definitely. And beyond that little entry area, a long corridor, completely unlit, just stretching into blackness.
Right. And the driver's supposed to just walk down that.
Well, that's the implication, right? But the driver hesitated. I mean, who wouldn't? It felt wrong. That silence, the dark.
Absolutely. That primal instinct kicking in. Something's not right here.
So the driver thinks, okay, I'll call the customer. Makes sense.
Standard procedure.
But then they hear the phone ringing.
Inside,
Echoing from down that dark hallway. And it's getting closer, louder.
Oh, no. That is incredibly creepy. Like something from a movie.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then, out of the darkness at the end of the hall, emerges this large man. Just appears.
Okay.
And the driver said he was walking fast. And silently. Just coming toward them. Silent and fast from total darkness.
Yeah.
Yes, it's terrifying.
Understandably, the driver's like, nope. Done. Freaked out.
I would be too.
Right. So they just drop the food right there, turn around, and get out of that warehouse fast. Didn't even wait.
Smart move. Definitely the right call.
As they're driving away, they look back at that little window on the side door and see movement behind the glass.
Just adds to the whole creepy factor. So what happened then? Did the customer complain?
Well, that's the thing. The story doesn't end there. Days later, the driver gets a call from the police.
Oh, why?
They were asking questions. Were you at this warehouse address around 2:30 a.m. on Saturday?
Okay, so they connected the driver to the location. Yep. Turns out, when the actual warehouse workers came back after the holiday weekend, they found the McDonald's bag sitting right there in the middle of that dark hallway. Untouched.
Untouched. So the person who came out of the dark didn't even take it.
And the police told the driver there had been a break-in at the warehouse that night.
Break-in?
The order was placed using a fake account. It wasn't a real customer. And the food wasn't even taken.
Wow. So the food wasn't the point. The delivery was just the lure.
Exactly. They wanted someone there. At that isolated warehouse at 2 a.m., the driver just chills, thinking about what could have happened if they hadn't left immediately.
Yeah, that is genuinely chilling. They likely avoided something really bad. Okay, wow. That's quite a start.
It really is. Yeah, okay, let's move to the second story. This one also had that kind of background hum of unease from the start.
Okay.
This driver was working for a friend's parents' restaurant. And apparently they already didn't feel super comfortable with the job, you know? Yeah. Just a general vibe.
Sometimes you just get that feeling about a situation or a job, yeah. So what happened on this particular night?
It was a slow night. Drivers just waiting around almost the end of their shift.
Ready to go home.
Totally. But then the friend's dad, the owner, insists they take one more delivery.
Uh-oh. The one last job trope?
Kind of.
Yeah.
And this delivery is like 40 minutes away, which for their small town was apparently a really long way.
40 minutes. Yeah, that's quite a trek, especially if your shift is basically over.
Yeah.
And late at night, too.
Yeah, I was getting close to 10 p.m., so already pushing it. The driver wasn't thrilled, but, you know, boss says go.
Right. So they head out. What was the destination like?
This is where it gets even weirder. The address leads them to this small, kind of isolated street, only like 6 houses on it. And they're all old, kind of run-down looking.
Okay. Set apart from everything else.
Yeah, far from the main roads. And there are no other cars around. No lights on in any of the other houses. Just dead quiet and dark.
Sounds pretty isolated. Settling.
Definitely. So the driver goes up to the house, rings the bell, knocks. Nothing. Waits a bit, knocks again. Still nothing.
Nobody home, maybe? Or not expecting the delivery?
So they try calling the customer's number. Straight to voicemail at first.
Okay, adding to the weirdness.
But then, as they're standing there, they see a light flicker inside the house.
Oh.
Like a flashlight beam moving around.
Oh, so someone is inside, just not answering the door or turning on lights.
Exactly. Then the door slowly opens. And there's a young guy standing there. He's holding a flashlight in one hand and like a plastic grocery bag in the other.
Okay, odd combo maybe. But he acknowledges the order.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, the food. But then he says something really strange.
What's that?
He says, hey, can you bring it inside? Put it on the kitchen table for me. My hands are kind of full.
Whoa, hold on. Hands full with a flashlight and a bag, and wants the driver to come inside.
Right. Big red flag. Very unusual request.
Extremely unusual. Delivery drivers usually stay at the doorstep for safety. What did the driver do?
They hesitated, thankfully. And in that moment, they glanced past the guy into the house. It looked totally empty. Dusty. No furniture visible, just vacant. And the guy's using a flashlight. Instead of just flicking on a light switch, it screamed, something's wrong.
Yeah, that detail about the flashlight in a seemingly empty house is really suspicious. Reinforces the vacant feeling.
So the driver, trusting their gut, refuses. Says something like, nah, I can't come inside. You got to pay me out here.
Good. Setting a boundary. Maintaining control.
But the guy apparently didn't like that. His whole demeanor changed. He kind of steps out onto the porch towards the driver.
Oh boy. That's confrontational. Threatening even.
That's how the driver took it. They felt a real spike of fear. So they just dropped the food right there on the porch and bolted back to their car.
Didn't even wait for payment.
Nope. Just got out of there. So the guy just stood on the porch watching them intently as they drove off fast.
Wow. Good call, just leaving. That sounds like it could have turned bad quickly.
For sure. And the driver. They drove straight back to the restaurant, told the owner, the friend's dad who insisted on the delivery, what happened.
And what did the owner say? Concerned? Apologetic?
Apparently, not really. Kind of brushed it off, which led to the driver quitting right then and there.
Can't blame him. If your boss sends you into a sketchy situation and then doesn't seem to care, yeah, time to leave.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the driver said later, thinking back, they realized just how dangerous that might have been. An empty house, a weird request to come inside. The guy's reaction. It felt like a setup. Maybe for a robbery, maybe worse.
Absolutely. The isolation, the lack of lights, the strange behavior, it all points to a potential trap. That driver's instincts probably saved them.
It's another reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trust that gut feeling when something feels off. Okay, one more story for tonight.
All right, let's hear it.
This one comes from a Domino's pizza delivery driver. Again, it starts on a slow night.
Seems to be a theme. Quiet nights, then something happens.
Yeah. So this guy comes into the Domino's shop to order a pizza for delivery. But he seems off. The driver described him as looking really sleep-deprived, maybe drunk or high. Just seemed out of it.
Okay. Not unheard of late at night, but notable.
What was really notable, though, was how he ordered. Instead of just saying the address, he hands the person at the counter a little slip of paper with the address written on it. Doesn't say it out loud.
Huh. That is a bit strange. Why not just say it? A little detail, but weird.
The driver thought so, too. Filed it away.
Yeah.
So they make the pizza. Driver heads out for the delivery. And almost immediately, they notice a car behind them.
Following them.
Seems like it. It's the only other car on the road.
Yeah.
And it's driving erratically, speeding up, slowing down, just sticking with them.
Okay, that's unnerving.
The driver's first thought was, maybe they're just drunk, maybe connected to the guy who ordered looking out of it. But it still felt weird.
Yeah, being followed, especially when you're working alone at night, is never comfortable.
So the driver gets to the delivery address. And as they pull up, that car that was following them, it pulls over too, but parks down the street a little way, watching.
Oh, okay. So definitely paying attention to the driver, not just random drunk driving.
Seems like it. The driver goes to the door, knocks. A different guy answers, not the guy from the shop.
Right.
And this guy also seems kind of out of it. Sleep deprived, maybe intoxicated. The driver says, pizza for Matthew, or whatever the name was. And the guy just kind of stares, then slowly, quietly says, yeah, Matthew. Like, it took him a second to process.
Delinquent reaction. Still feels off.
Very. So the driver's handing over the pizza, getting the money, whatever. But just as they're turning to leave, they see someone else.
Where?
Down the sidewalk, a figure wearing a hoodie, jogging towards them, and looking right at the driver.
Oh, great. This is escalating.
Yeah. And at the same moment, the guy at the door, he steps out onto the porch, kind of like he's going to follow the driver or block him.
It's a pincer movement. Okay, this sounds bad.
It was. The hooded figure starts moving quickly now, heading towards the back of the driver's car, like trying to block them in. Then suddenly breaks into a run, coming straight for the driver.
Whoa. Time to go.
Absolutely. The driver slams the car into reverse, floors it just as the hooded guy gets near the back bumper. They manage to swing out and avoid getting blocked in.
Close call.
Super close. And as they peel out onto the street, both the guy from the door and the hooded figure are yelling and actually chasing the car down the road for a bit.
Chasing the car? Seriously, what was going on?
Well, as the driver sped away and got a look under the streetlights, they realized who the hooded figure was.
Let me guess. The guy from the pizza shop.
Bingo. The same guy who ordered with a slip of paper. It was a setup, a planned ambush.
Unbelievable. So the guy orders, then follows the driver, planning to rob them with his buddy at the house.
That was the plan. The driver immediately called the police, gave the descriptions, the address.
Good. Did they catch them?
Yeah, the police got there pretty quick. They picked up both guys, the one from the door and the one who ordered, charged them with attempted robbery.
Wow.
Turns out they had prior convictions for robbery too.
Yeah.
It was a really poorly thought out plan, but definitely dangerous.
Yeah.
If the driver hadn't reacted so fast.
Yeah, getting blocked in like that, it could have ended very differently. Thank goodness they were alert and got away.
It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
So those are the three stories for tonight, each one different, but they all kind of share that thread, don't they?
They really do. That thread of unexpected danger lurking just under the surface of a really common everyday service. You order food, someone brings it. Simple, right?
Usually. But these stories show that for the drivers, especially late at night, it can be anything but simple. They're often alone, going to unfamiliar places.
Makes them vulnerable. And these accounts are just a stark reminder of those risks. Risks we probably don't think about when we're just hungry at 1 a.m.
Exactly. It definitely gives you a different perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Something to maybe keep in mind next time you're clicking that late night order button. Just think about the person bringing it to you.
Yeah. Stay aware, be safe. Good advice for everyone, really.
Well, thank you for joining us and listening to these rather unsettling accounts tonight.
Always interesting, if a bit chilling.
If you found these stories gripping, or just want to hear more explorations into the darker, more unusual side of things, please do like this, share it, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs.
Your support helps us bring more stories like these to light.
It does. We'll be back soon with more. Thanks again for listening.